What's going on, YouTube? Back with another video. This may not resonate with everyone. I may lose some people on this video, but I wanted to put it out because, you know, everybody goes through periods in life like this, and then we get confused. So as you can see, the title of the video is either like relationship with food, unhealthy relationship with food, you know, no craving, something like that. So I wanted to get right into it and just talk about if you're ever in a period where you have no cravings. Our first response is to think something's wrong with us, right? I'm not craving the things I want. I haven't been hungry lately. Something's not right. Food hasn't been. Listen, I'm telling you right now, pause for a second. It's because it's actually a positive thing. You know, we're going to put a positive spin on this anxiety and depression because it's so easy to be like, because this is, listen, let me break it down. I'm spitting the harsh truth of this reality. Okay? The real truth is, live in this 3D matrix. We are light beings. Since we are light bearers, light beings, when you eat physical food, it brings you down to the 3D, right? Which means when you bring yourself down to the 3D, what happened? What do you think happens when you bring yourself down to 3D? Wouldn't you need more 3D to sustain being down in that level? But when you don't have any cravings, you're not physically craving 3D, right? Which means you're, in a sense, lightening, right? Your frequency is getting higher. And I know we conflate that with anxiety and depression, which may be true, but let's break that down too. Food is a way, you know, if, listen, I hope this doesn't make sense, because if we could, because like what I'm saying is, if you can see life as if you're in the spiritual world, which is like, you know, you're not able to, right? It's like almost like if The Sims, right? You don't see your health bar, you don't see your food level, when you got to go to the bathroom bar, like you don't see none of that, right? But imagine if you could. Now, hear me out. So, like I said, it brings you down to the 3D. And when you need the 3D, you go, your cravings tell you what you need, right? That's, a lot of people think they think it's just basic level, like I'm craving sweets. And that's all. That's all there is to it. I'm craving sweets. I'm craving something sour. I'm craving something bitter. I'm craving something rich, sweet, I don't know, heavy. You know what I mean? That all correlates to an emotion in your life that you're not dealing with. Okay? All foods correlate to an emotion you are not addressing. You're not feeling fulfilled of. Lack thereof. When you have lack, you fill it with food. You try to fill a void. So when you have no cravings, there is no lack. There is no lack. Because you're full. Your spiritual being is full. When your spiritual body's full, which you could interpret as anxiety overwhelmed or depression overwhelmed, but that's not how your spiritual body. See, the physical, the 3D, you need to put things in that way of light, right? When you're in the 3D, you gotta diagnose, you gotta associate everything with something in the 3D, right? But in the spiritual, there really is no duality. In the 3D, there's duality. In the spiritual, there is no duality, really. That's the only duality can only exist on earth. Good versus evil. You need to have evil on earth to know what good is on earth. You know what I mean? That's why it's called, you know, there's two poles. The earth is bipolar. You know what I mean? Like, Listen, it's deep. It really is deep like that. If you really want to turn your brain on and comprehend everything, food is like one of the core roots of all the problems. But anyway, back to what I'm saying. So when you have this overwhelmness, anxiety, depression, or whatever, and it's causing you not to have cravings, what your spiritual self is telling you, we already have enough food to chew on. Let's chew on what we have, right? Take a step back from the food. You're not going to die. Maybe you do need to fast. When you need to fast, it brings yourself closer to your spiritual self. Maybe you need to have a meeting. It's almost like, every, I say this every time, every main character, of any sci-fi anime, Harry Potter dies. That is in the same sense of fasting, of getting closer to your spiritual self. You're overwhelmed. You die. You need to come in contact with your spiritual being. You need to reset. So I don't want people to inherit quickly and just assume the worst. Oh, I'm not craving anything, so I'm anxiety and depressed, and I need to just force myself to eat. Well, forcing yourself to eat, forcing yourself to to digest when you're already full, will cause your spiritual self to reject you. So, I'll get a little bit deeper because I have time. It's only 6 minutes in. And I hate to do this because people don't think it's that deep, but it really is. And I think that's why another reason why I don't come on here and say everything I'm thinking, because I'm like, man, people are gonna think I'm crazy. But it is all true. I don't know if a lot of people have seen Naruto, but Naruto has a scene where he has to meditate for a while in front of the the waterfall, the reflection, right? And then he starts talking to his shadow self, and his shadow self's like, F you, blah, 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 blah. Because when you reject yourself, the spiritual self is just the other side of you. And when you reject yourself, they denounce you too, which causes that separation, right? So when you masturbate, that's really without consent. That's your spiritual self isn't ready for that. When you force yourself to eat, I'm being serious. That's causing your spiritual self to be like, I don't want to be associated with this person. We can go on. We can just, when you harm yourself, when you put yourself in this constant vicious cycle of harm, whether it be drugs, food, masturbation, whatever it may be, it could be, nonstop sex, whatever it may be, whatever your vices are, your spiritual self is like, I don't want to be associated with myself. Now we get to society, and today's society, somehow I'm getting on this rant, but it is what it is. We get to today's society, and what is every corporation pushing? We're pushing mass opiates. We're pushing mass opiates. We're pushing mass amounts of food that's filled with all sorts of chemicals, and we're pushing porn. Why? It's because if we cause a separation, a lack, right? If we cause this separation between human and spirit, then devil or NPC type behavior can enter you. If you don't think it's true, that's what the Matrix is telling you. Matrix didn't do it Matrix did it in the right way. They may not have gone into the detail of how they tell you oh yeah, people can just jump bodies, but the real way is by consuming all this and doing this to your spiritual self, you have room for a Mr. Anderson, an NPC, a devil type entity to come into you. That's why, they push drinking so hard. And that's why they call gin, right? The devil gin, right? It's because that's a real thing and we think it's all fun and games. But I think that's really it. I just wanted to show that sometimes we just have to sit back and be one with ourselves, because I've made a video in a minute. I'll go a little deeper. Food is not only food you're digesting, which puts you on a level, a plane, right? That's why you might eat food and you might feel healthy after, you might or feel good after. Some food you eat, you feel stuffed, full, can't move after. They all come with their own emotional frequencies that you're consuming with the food. Those are facts, right? That's why you feel a certain way after food. Okay? Now, music is food. You digesting music all day can put you on a frequency, right? People don't look at it because you're not looking at it from the perspective of you're a light being. If you're a light being absorbing frequencies, that's digestion into your light. You're absorbing frequencies. It's altering your frequency. So that's another form of digestion. It's that deep. I just think, when you hear this though, it sounds scary, and then it sounds like you get paranoid. You don't know what to do. The whole point is for you to slowly control yourself and slowly get to the point of like, oh, you know what? That's why there might be periods too where you're like, have you guys had periods where you don't even feel like listening to music too? What do you think that is? It's the same thing. You have periods where you don't want to listen to music. Same thing as not having any food cravings. It's the same thing. We all crave in different ways. Peep all your cravings. They could be food, drugs, alcohol, porn, sex, whatever. Then get to the root of why you're craving X thing, and then that'll tell you everything you need to know about yourself. I feel good about the video. I haven't put one out in a while, but that's the reality of the world we live in today, They're pushing it all because it creates a lack, the separation between you and the spirit, and they're pushing it harder on, the youth now, so that, a devil and NPC, Mr. Anderson type can just get right into that body fucking before, the end of elementary school. Boom. In there. Listen, some of it, it's so genius that you cannot only, all you can do is salute. I gotta salute the game. Because we're gonna win in the end. That's the thing. I think everybody forgets that. No matter what happens, we're gonna win in the end. We're just gonna win. I mean, real human beings, real spiritual human beings out here, we're going to win in the end. I don't know. I've been doing some research and shit. I don't know, though, if I'm a human. I remember I told you, I think I'm like I don't know if last thing, 30 seconds. I remember I looked up my blood type. I remember I was talking to my friends. And I can't find any information on it. Not enough, And if we're going off the theory that Jesus, not a real being, or not a real being, or if the story says he's really, like the devil or whatever, the devil or Jesus, whatever you want to believe, he was AB negative. I'm also AB negative. That's why, what I'm saying? I be looking a little like Black Jesus, you feel me? But, could have devil in me, which means I'm like alien blood, which would also explain why I think the way I do, because I feel like subconsciously. So if we're going off of that, I'm stuck in the matrix because I'm not pure human, which means I subconsciously latch out and lure people into this realm with me, and try to keep them here with me. I'm temptation reincarnate. That's what Satan is, temptation incarnate. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys know that, but Satan isn't like, what's the story? The snake is Satan. What was the story about the vulture getting his, remember the story? Is that Prometheus? Who gets his liver eaten every day? Right? What that really means is, you guys could have been cut the video off, but if you don't know, Satan, Prometheus, light bearer, all that stuff that they moves up and down is really just temptation in 3D form. So basically, Prometheus, he regenerates his liver every day, and I think it was his liver, right? And the vulture comes and eats it every day. what that story really means is he falls for temptation every day. And then the liver gets eaten. I think that's also symbolized for like some sex organ. You know, it helps produce. So basically it's saying he falls to temptation every day. AB negative blood. I'm temptation incarnate. Maybe that's why I seek after knowledge, which I shouldn't be. I lure others into thinking and knowledge. I don't know. Listen, these are theories, but I'm not afraid to take a stand. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to question and enlighten myself. I don't know if you're even supposed to get enlightened as a pure human being. I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing. But that's it for today's video. I hope you guys think about. Let me know your blood types. Let's do some research on that. If you have some research, let me know. All right. Hope y'all have a good day. Later.